Welcome to the Do You Believe edition of Basketball Illuminati. I'm Zach Harper. That's Mo Dakhil. That's proud American Wosny Lambre. Make sure you're checking out both episodes every week on Basketball Illuminati. It'd be weird if you were checking this one out and not the main show with Tom and Amin and Maze. Make sure you're checking out all of Mo's stuff on social media. Make sure you're checking out his Twitch. Subscribe? You subscribe to Twitch. I even know so little about Twitch. What is it? Twitch dot something dot
TV / Mo Dakhil.
There it is.
Listen, just go find my socials. You'll find the link. It's not that hard.
Not that hard. Obviously, Woz, CEO of Spotify. Make sure you're checking out Group Chat and all the podcasts on Spotify and The Ringer at this point.
Yeah, I think it was today, this morning, I got the email that the trading window for Spotify stock is done tomorrow until April 29th.
I don't know because I guess they're going to announce. Is this insider trading or what are we doing here? Okay,
I was very worried for a second.
I just don't want to be subpoenaed.
Call coming up, and I think tomorrow or the day after, or whatever it is. And so, obviously, if you know what the earnings are, you can know whether you should buy or sell, and if you know that trading.
This seems like a crime.
I'm glad we're recording. Right now.
If you know that the president is about to levy tariffs and then take them back, you can buy low and then sell them again.
It's a real if you know situation, which people love to post on the internet. Yeah. Oh,
if you know,
nothing makes someone prouder than a IYKYK. That's what it is. IYKYK. No, dude, you could just post a picture of a muffin, a basic store-bought muffin, and you put that if you know, everyone's going to flock to your DMs. Everybody, because everybody wants
to more special than other muffins, though. Zach.
Of course,
I think I'm going to do exactly that, Zach.
You have to
get a picture of a muffin. You're going to do it while we're talking.
Yeah. Just do it. Just stock footage of a muffin.
They're just going to assume that Mo has a sick muffin place in his neighborhood that everybody who's in the know knows about. If you don't know, we don't know what's up. You don't know.
I didn't know, but I want to know so I can know if I know. Yeah. And make sure you're checking out The Bounce, free newsletter from The Athletic, theathletic.com/The Bounce, and Cinephobe. Check out Cinephobe. And all the Count the Dings stuff. Be a Patreon member, patreon.com/Count the Dings, and get all of our extra content. All right, guys. Do you believe? We got 3 fun topics here today. Well, actually, all right. Before we do that, Jason Kidd, we don't have to get deep into this, but Kyrie Irving was playing a fuck ton of minutes before he blew his ACL, right? Like 39, 40 minutes a game, right? And Jason Kidd was asked about it and said, we're talking about one play, not many before that. It's a freak accident. That's how it should be reported. We're reporting on conspiracy theories. I was on the wrong tab, sorry. But I love that. I do love that. Like, he's like, it's one play, but do we think Kobe Bryant tore his Achilles from one play? Is that how that works?
If it depends what you view of how long one play can be.
Sure. Okay. Now we got a flat circle time bullshit thing.
Now that's really more just what's your definition?
I think with the Kyrie thing, the argument could be made that he landed on his leg funny, right? Like sometimes people tear their ACL, they're just going up for a rebound. They come down and it's fucked up, or they going up for a layup or something like that. And like, it looks normal. It kind of looks like Kyrie had an abnormal landing.
Yeah.
If I'm being generous to Jason Kidd, but the idea that, usage and wear and tear has absolutely no effect on ACL injuries.
I was drafted in 93. Fuck off with that. 94. I was drafted in 94. Fuck off with that. We're not doing that today. Here's our first topic. Do you believe that Thunder Celtics, last night's incredible game in Boston, Thunder win 118-112, Thunder Celtics was a preview of what we will find in June for the NBA Finals? The Celtics shot 63 3-pointers, 36 in the first half, 63 3-pointers. They made 20. If I tell you you're going to make 23s in a game, you're going to feel pretty good about your chances to win. But they shot 63 of them.
They shot 22 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
they were on pace for 88.
So, all right, so they really did pull back.
They slowed down.
They tamped it down.
They took 22 shots in the paint. That's it. 12 free throws. I was waiting for complaints about the free throw disparity. Like, you took nothing but threes. You can't do that. But so they did an extreme. OKC's defense was great. I actually thought Boston played really good defense too. It was a fun game. Good back and forth. No Kristaps, no Jalen Williams. But Mo, do you believe that this was an NBA Finals preview?
I do not.
Whoa!
I have questions about the Thunder. I just think the West is stacked. I'm not convinced the Thunder are coming out of the Western Conference. I know how good they are in the regular season. Mm-hmm. I'm really going to be fascinated when we get to the playoffs and teams are going to be able to scheme. Because I'm just going to say it over and over again. They don't have a plan B. Mm-hmm. If Shea's not going, if they're not making threes, they don't have a next route. They don't know what they're doing after that. They don't have a plan B. And to me, that's really what the playoffs are about, is what's your plan B? What's your plan C? What's your plan? Now, they might be hiding it, and maybe we'll see it in the playoffs. But right now, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I think that Celtics are a prime example of this, right? Where they have like plan C's and D's, if we're being honest here. Whether it's Tatum, who I think the key thing he's gotten better at is identifying what he should attack in a given matchup. When he has smaller guys on him, he doesn't go to that step back shit anymore. He tries to bury these guys in the paint, get to the line, etc. As soon as the big man drops in pick and roll, he's firing that thing. Just like he's just so much smarter. And then Brown and everybody else kind of works off of that. Tatum constantly creating matchup advantages, drawing help, swing, 3-pointer. My thing with the Celtics is like, do you really want Jrue Holiday taking 8 threes a game? Not really. But like, that's kind of their, and when Jrue Holiday shoots, best believe it's like, there's nobody within 8 feet of him. That's like the worst thing that their offense can do. And they're not asking Tatum to carry a 37% usage the way that Shea is. Like, Brown can come in and do what he has to do. I think Porzingis, when he's playing, has been better at matchup hunting and beating up on smaller guys too, because that used to be the just solve for Porzingis. Put a point guard on him, and he basically can't do anything. He's gotten way better at exploiting that kind of thing. They're just way more multiple. And I know people are going to be like, they just got their asses kicked last night. I get that. And J-Dub didn't play. I just think Mo is right. The Thunder is so one-dimensional. And I don't know that they have counters and solves built into their offense right now.
I think this was a finals preview of 2026. I think we got one more year. Someone I wrote in the newsletter about the concern I and others have had is that the Thunder are never in close games, right? Let me find the exact statistic updated this morning. They have 54 wins, 42 are double digits. They are they're 12-8 in clutch games. They're 0-4 in games decided by one possession. And people are like, oh, so like I got a couple of responses like, oh, so it's a red flag that they win by too much. And I actually think that it is. I think of Milwaukee pre-Jrue Holiday, where they were just blowing teams out every night. And then when they got to the playoffs, they had no idea what to do. Now, to be fair, some of that is Coach Bud. Some of that was Coach Bud not knowing what to do. And I do think Dagnall has more of an adjustment mentality than Bud did. but it is about players having those reps of what to do, and they don't have that in the playoffs. They've had one playoff experience. One. That's it. Like as a group, they've had one playoff experience, and they beat a Pelicans. They swept a Pelicans team that was missing their best player. Congrats. And then they were Justin Hero ticker going across the bottom. And then when shots didn't fall against Dallas, to your point, Mo, like, and you too, was like, they didn't have like oh, well, now what do we do? Right. And their 3-point shooter has been better as of late. So I'm not as worried about their shooting.
It's so confidently.
Dude, he's legit good.
I'm kind of becoming convinced of Luke.
No, I don't worry about him. I don't worry about him. I don't worry about him at all. Like
I'm not shoot, dude.
I questioned that extension at the time. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when he signed that $85 million extension. I was like, he better learn how to shoot that thing. He did. Worry over. Yeah, worry is over.
Shout out to Chip England on the staff, who's been working with everybody.
And it's not just like he's league out. Like he's like a legit 40% 3-point shooter. Yeah, like he can really shoot that thing. He doesn't just have to be open either. But they do have enough. Like I know Chet had a good game last night. I'm not convinced that he's going to be mentally tough enough. It will help when J-Dub's back, but also like he's kind of regressed in some clutch moments. Like he used to be an asset for them, and now he kind of just stands around. I don't want them to just wait for Shea to be a superhero, and maybe Shea will just be a superhero, right? Like he's that good. He might just go on a run, like Dirk Nowitzki or whatever, and carry them. But they're not dealing with the East, right? Like they're dealing with the Western Conference. That's the concern. Is the field ahead of them has so many blockades of good or dangerous teams that I do think you need that experience. I do think they're going to have to grow up very quickly. It doesn't mean they can't do it. There are two other teams right now that I would say, I will take them in a series over OKC because they do have that experience. But it's not that they're not talented enough or good enough. Like they're awesome. Like they're historically great.
The talent.
Yeah. It's just like winning in the playoffs is hard. It's really hard, and it takes a lot of learning, and it's rare that a team gets like, even think of the Warriors in 2015, right? 2013, they had that big series win against Denver, end up losing the next round. They had that tough series loss to the Clippers in 2014, right? Like they had
last year. Let's go, baby. Knock them out, baby.
Mo's last stand.
Mo got fired by Doc Rivers, but
I couldn't. That was because Chris Paul had a couple of turnovers in Oklahoma City in Game 5, and then that's what happened. Yeah.
Whoa.
Man, that Chris Paul game.
Another former teammate mad at Chris Paul.
That Chris Paul game is seared into my brain. I remember watching it in complete disbelief at the time.
If you could only have seen my face in the Oklahoma City locker room while that was happening in real time,
I would just
be going like, we got.
Dude. Where he did the fake foul in the backcourt, and I'm like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah,
it was. Let's stop reliving my whole
shit.
Yeah. But even those Warriors, right? Like, yes, they got a new coach and everything, and that helped boost things up, and they changed it. But like those guys, like Clay, Draymond, Steph, they had to learn how those steps. And OKC has had one step so far. Maybe they take a leap, but it's going to be difficult. That's where the doubt comes. But everyone knows they're good enough. This team's awesome.
I think the Warriors are instructive, and also because I think there's so many things about the modern NBA are informed by the Heatles. But like the year after the Heatles lost to Dallas, where every single clutch game, like every single game that was in the clutch was like heavily scrutinized to the point where in the All-Star game when LeBron passed the ball,
he was getting it. He was getting it, man. He was getting it.
Was that right off like the heels of like him kicking it to like UD in Utah?
I think so.
It was like right after that, and then he goes.
By the way, perfect pocket pass for 12 wide open UD shot.
Guys, you don't get it. He has no clutch gene. He's afraid of the moment.
As stupid as that stuff was, I think it was important though for the Heat to learn how to play together in tight situations. It's like it matters, dude.
we've also had this exact same argument about the Celtics, 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
They were blowing everybody out in the regular season. And then when it got to close games in the playoffs, they would
up the joint. It's so true.
So it's the same situation.
And who did it to him? Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. And now
he has
in the Western
Conference.
He might have a chance. Yeah, now he has a chance to do it to the Thunder.
Jimmy's not firing his agent anytime soon. So just cool it.
Hey, man.
He's not working with
I just want some free coffee. That's all I'm looking for. I just want some big face coffee. All right, let's go on to our next one. Do you believe the Minnesota Timberwolves have figured out the Denver Nuggets? They housed them last night, 115-95. Michael, don't call me Mike Malone, pulled the starters with 5:05 left in the fourth quarter, waved the white flag, and this was the third win of the season by the Wolves over Denver. They're 3-0 this year. This is after taking down the defending champs in the second round of the playoffs last year. They traded Karl Anthony Towns away. They brought in Julius Randle. Doesn't matter. Still there. Still dominating Denver. Rudy Gobert has done a great job of just kind of eating those points against Jokic. He had 34 last night, but he didn't have the assists, didn't have the rebounds. I thought Gobert was great. Ant was great. Jaden McDaniels was great. Julius Randle was really good last night. Like he simplified some of his offensive attack. If he plays like that, then I don't know, maybe. I'm not convinced though. But
you didn't sound convinced when you maybe
because we've had that conversation a lot. That's why
it was that conversation a lot.
Julius Randle
was okay. He was fine. He figured it out. He had a good game.
Maybe
when he doesn't, he should be fined $1 million every time he dribbles more than 3 times. It just should be $1 million. But this Nuggets team is really good. Jokic might be the MVP. He's been historic, but Mo, they can't get past the Timberwolves. Have the Timberwolves figured out these vaunted Denver Nuggets?
I think they have, and I think they have the confidence after winning Game 7 in Denver that they can take this team. And I think that's one of the things that's really kind of propelled them to the wins here. They're not afraid of them. They're not afraid of Jokic. They're not afraid of Murray. They kind of have them sort of figured out. And this is a little bit of a weaker Nuggets team. I know, Aaron Gordon. I know there's stuff with issues and that stuff, but this team does not shoot the 3 ball all that well. Like it's, a lot of games we're watching where Christian Brown, is continuing to shoot way more shots.
You're back to Braun, buddy.
Way more shots than anybody. There are games where I'm like, how did he have 20 shots in this game? It's like, because everybody's giving it to him. And he can make all 20. Teams are going to continue to be like, as long as Jokic isn't shooting it, as long as Murray isn't shooting it, we're going to be fine with this. And I think, Minnesota has a really good game plan against them. I think Rudy, like you said, does a good job of I'll take the points. We'll get crushed on the points, but we're not going to give up him diming out everybody and orchestrating the offense the way he is as a conductor. I do think they got him figured out.
I tend to agree with Mo, and part of it is 2 guys specifically. It's Murray just cannot get comfortable against this team. Like, he just can't. Normally when Denver's 2-man game is working, it's like Murray just starts punishing you at that fucking elbow with that elbow jumper. And if you go underneath, just punishing you with the 3. And it's just like at a certain point, you start overcommitting. And then that's when Jokic gets going. And that's when your whole game plan falls apart. But Denver is just like, the Wolves are just like, we're harassing this guy. We're fighting over the screens. We're making him feel our length at every single moment of the game. And he just looks like a shell of himself. He doesn't look like an all-star player when he's playing against the Wolves and their length and their physicality. They're being so physical. And then the second part is Ant Edwards loves every single matchup against the Nuggets. There's not a single Nugget that he fears in his individual matchup. And the second they try to bring some level of help towards his way, he's smart enough now, wise enough now to get off of it quickly.
You know why? You know what he credited? He said he's been watching a lot of Luka Doncic and how he handles double teams.
Wow.
Last night. Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah. Well, that's a smart idea. Luka Doncic is one of our most gifted.
Dame on how to shoot better. Now he shoots 42% on 10 threes a night, and watch Luka Doncic.
He's figured out what Denver wants to do. And, Brown, Zach is fucking me up now. Brown is usually physical enough for most of his matchups. He's not usually getting beat up on physicality when he's, in his wing matchups, but Ant's just stronger than this guy. He's just bodying up this guy, creating all kinds of space, and he's dribbling past him. Like, Ant just feels invincible when he plays against Denver's wing defenders. And even again, I think Gordon is the best matchup. In the one-on-one, you have to send the least help. But even that, like, there were times last year where he freaking was just, dribbling past him with no problem. So we'll see.
You guys are both wrong. I don't know if you remember the series last year, but
Denver won it by 20 in Game 7. They did.
Word out of Denver when the loss happened in Game 7. These guys were so tired. They were so tired. They were the only one in that series that played a 7-game series. They were so tired. They were sleepy. Needed a nap. These 3 games this year, I just looked it up. Sleepiest times of the week. Sleepiest times of the week. They're just sleepy guys.
No,
they're so tired. They're the most tired guys in the world when they face Minnesota.
I don't know, Zach. A guy named Big Honey.
Waz, you got to get on this train with me. Okay,
I'm on board. By the way, Zach.
What's Big Honey?
I'm sick of people calling Nikola Jokic the Joker or Joker as the nickname, and I know that's his nickname.
That's Novak Djokovic's name.
His other nickname is Big Honey. It's on Basketball Reference.
Who called him that?
Big Honey? I don't know, but we're gonna make this a thing. Like I'm referencing Big Honey in the newsletter all the time.
Big Honey.
Big Honey's a great nickname.
Vague porn reference to it too that I enjoy as well.
Okay, now you're ruining it.
I don't know. He's both ruining it and making it better for me at the same time. I don't know. Like that's just kind of what Waz does, right? He ruins it, but I'm like, yeah, I don't mind this.
But yes, I will be calling him Big Honey when I start tweeting out clips.
Yeah, Big Honey, man. Big Honey. I think, man, you know what? Like, I don't know that he gets enough credit for it. Chris Finch is an incredible coach. He's an incredible coach. The Timberwolves have kind of figured this thing out. They've won 6 straight. They're right on Golden State's heels for top 6 in the conference. One of those teams is going to have to fall. I don't think anybody can catch Houston or Memphis. Memphis is in the 2 seed now. Maybe Houston or the Lakers, whoever could fall. But that's going to be an incredible race of seeing like who between the Warriors and the Wolves sneaks out of that play-in tournament and gets the prize of facing maybe Denver in the first round. And if you're Minnesota, you probably don't fear that at all, right?
Yeah, let's play Denver.
Yeah.
We've beaten them 4 times in a row now.
And we know how tired they get.
I also don't think Minnesota's that afraid of Oklahoma City either.
No. Why would you be?
They've been able to really give it to them, and it's been a back and forth for them. I think the season series is tied. I think they match up pretty well with them. Like I think they're not afraid of either Denver or Oklahoma City should they end up falling into that situation.
I don't, for whatever reason, I don't love that matchup for Minnesota. I know I like everything you're saying is true about how that's gone, and I don't think they fear them. I don't think that would go well in a playoff series, but I might just be wrong about that. I don't know what it is. I just have this feeling like I don't trust them against that defense in a 7-game series. I think that defense could really screw them up, like being able to game plan from game to game.
Yeah, just going off what we've seen though this season, I think again, for me, a big part of it too is Minnesota's confidence. I don't think Minnesota's looking at them going like, damn, we're really afraid of these guys, or this is going to be a real tall task for us. I think it's closer than a lot of people will realize in that series should they play Oklahoma City. But that's just a
new question.
That's where you're at.
Do you believe the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win it all? That's a yes all across the board. All right, we'll move on to our last subject. Congrats. See you in June, Minneapolis. All right, this last one is a fucking doozy, all right?
Oh boy.
this one. Do you believe Jeremy Lamb, yes, that Jeremy Lamb is the Sacramento Kings shadow general manager? Now, let me explain. Hidden inside a Sam Amick and Anthony Slater article about De'Aaron Fox returning to Sacramento last Friday was this little nugget. Vivek greenlit the decision while on vacation in Cabo. He was there with Anjali, I think that's how you say her name, and Jeremy Lamb, the 10-year retired NBA pro, who initially joined the Kings organization as part of the Domantas Sabonis trade in February 2022, and whose relationship with the owner's daughter became public knowledge last October. She still appeared to have influence throughout Sacramento's organization, and as she and Lamb became a more visible part of the Kings' decision-making tree early this season. Often spotted courtside next to Vivek. You know what's weird about that is I thought I saw him courtside at a couple of like Kings broadcasts.
You're like, nah, that's not
like Jeremy Lamb. No, he doesn't play for them anymore. And why would he be sitting courtside? He would be like behind the bench or something. I thought I saw that. They were often spotted courtside next to Vivek in the proverbial power seats at games, and were believed by many within the organization to be gaining a growing influence in the big picture path forward. Quote, "We're all going to be working for Jeremy Lamb soon enough." End quote, one Kings employee joked to The Athletic at the time. Lamb no longer appears to be in the loop, but he was during those final weeks of the Mike Brown era, and league sources said Fox was one of many aware of the complicated and constantly shifting dynamics up top. So, Woz, do you believe that at least up until the Mike Brown firing, Jeremy Lamb was the Shadow Kings GM?
I don't believe that. I don't think he was the shadow GM, but you know, like,
okay, president of basketball operations.
Sure, I believe that he had some influence.
Vice president.
I certainly believe that he had influence for sure. I just think Vivek is the kind of guy who will take advice from damn near anybody. And that's the main problem. I don't think it was unique to Jeremy Lamb of like people who had no business having influence on basketball decisions, having basketball decision influence. Right. And so, yeah, I'm sure he did, man. But that's Vivek. He's kind of like our president that way. Like, last person he spoke to was like, "Oh shit, all right, word, good idea, let's do it." And then 3 days later, it's like, "Oh shit, fuck, let's do something else."
Mo, do you believe that Jeremy Lamb was the Shadow Kings GM?
I'm going to go a step further. I think everybody in Sacramento has a chance to be the Shadow GM because it's just anytime you see Vivek, you just got to say something. I think the baristas at Starbucks, when he comes in to get his coffee, can influence the situation. Everybody but the actual GM and vice presidents of the team. Monty McNair, doesn't matter what you want. It's whoever.
Monty's such a smart dude too, by the way. Like Monty's really good at his job. If he's allowed to do his job.
Use a third eye here. What if Monty McNair? Because obviously somebody in the official front office.
I don't know that I'm enjoying the tone of where Woz is going.
I'm just saying. Obviously, somebody in the official front office is sourcing these Amick and Slater pieces. We can agree with that, right? Because they're the ones that come out looking the best, right?
Right. Yeah.
So what if he's like, people don't like the decisions, some of these decisions that I made, I can sweep it under the Vivek rug really quickly, launder my own reputation.
Oh, okay. So you think
Monty... Wouldn't be the first time a GM did this. Fed a reporter some information, let him run with it, you know?
Yeah,
wouldn't be the first time.
Unrelated. Shout out to Daryl Morey. I think I said unrelated. That's the reporter version of with all due respect.
With all due respect.
Yeah. I like this theory. I do think I think anyone who has Vivek's ear is influencing things. This is how poorly run organizations, and it sucks.
That's how the Wolves used to be.
Oh my God. And guess what? It's probably how they're going to be again at some point because I don't trust the A-Rod influence here to have a sound structure in the organization. Eventually, Tim Connolly will get sick of that shit. He'll go.
And he's doing his thing, though.
He absolutely is. As long as he's allowed to do his thing, they'll be fine. But
yeah,
it's A-Rod.
Yeah, I've been an A-Rod cape wearer since like 2008. But
I know some people have worked for him in the past. Let me just say, it's not great. It's not tight. It's tough. it sucks because this organization was such a joke for so long. And as someone like I covered them, pretty closely for a couple of years, and it was a mess, man. Like, I mean, Tyreke Evans' brother and his trainer had so much influence over the Maloofs at the time, and it was just, oh my God, it was such a mess. And so they wait, have I told you guys the Oprah Winfrey thing?
I don't think so.
So this is my favorite. All right, I can say this. Tyreke, had like an interesting past. And this is when he was a rookie. This is when he was like storming the league, and he's going to be rookie of the year. Everything
25-5,
25-5, man. Oh my God, that's how you distract everyone from watching a 24-win team or whatever they won. And so, like, Tyreke was legitimately interesting and incendiary, and he was fantastic to cover and everything. And he had this interesting story and like a bit of a tough past where he had some accusations about like being involved in a murder and everything, and so there were reporters that wanted to like tell his story. And I think it was either his brother or his trainer said, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to talk about it. We're saving that for when he's on Oprah someday. Like, that was, dog, they had aspirations. Let me say, like, they had aspirations.
Can't be mad at them for having goals.
Lord have mercy.
Dreaming big.
It's incredible. But, it sucks because the Kings, it looked like they were they had finally figured it out, right? Get out of the way, let the dude do his job in the front office, let the coach do his job, and they brought in good players and everything, and they caught lightning in a bottle, and it turns out it was just lightning in a bottle, and now like they're not bad now, but they're not building in a Western Conference the way that the other teams are building, and I don't know, maybe they hang on to this play-in tournament stuff, and I mean they'll hang on because the alternative is Phoenix rising up there. Phoenix sucks, so they'll be fine there. But maybe they make it through and they have like a good showing in the first round, and that injects some life into things. But it just sucks to see like, nope, it's still a Vivek run organization, and it's still just like chaos in terms of the voices allowed to have influence, and that's just, man, that's not how organizations have success in the NBA.
Question for you guys. Would the league be better with 30 competent owners?
No. I'm anti-parody. No. This is like, I'm mad that Vlade Divac isn't employed. He was a great GM.
You need dumb teams. You need dumb teams. You need a few dumb teams. You don't need someone
who was a fan of the Timberwolves for a long time. Let me tell you, I understand the ecosystem that they fed, okay, by being so dumb. And being so poorly run.
Just guaranteed wins for other teams.
Yeah.
The other thing too, my question to you guys is, has ever having a shadow GM accusation worked out for you? Zach, you brought up Phoenix. We had the shadow GM story. Was it last year with Isaiah Thomas? Like, there's
oh my God.
I miss Isaiah Thomas being involved,
every time a team is mentioned,
that was
as like,
Chris Paul
this guy's the
job,
shadow
by the way.
GM. Every time it's mentioned, yeah, of course. But like every time a shadow GM is mentioned, I always look at the team going like, yeah, you're bad. Like,
did the LeBron shadow GMing in Cleveland work?
I didn't think that was shadow GMing. I thought that was GMing.
It was just GMing. Yeah, it was just like, he was like, yo, don't get that guy.
Everybody's
Shump's pretty good. Go get him. I want to kick the JR.
I didn't think that was me doing it in the shadows.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think shadow stuff technically works in the government sometimes, not in a basketball organization.
We think?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I just, I don't
worked in places like Libya, Mo,
Uh-oh. Jesus. Yo, stop doing this.
All right. This is.
R.I.P. Gaddafi, man. Going too soon.
Okay, that's there it is. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're liking and sharing and all that stuff. For Was, for Mo, for Mace, I'm Zach. Keep your third eye open, but close it to Gaddafi. Jesus.